Stop scrolling, take a breath, because what I'm about to reveal today could completely change the way you look at the coins hiding in America right now, in your drawer, in your car cup holder, maybe even in that old jar sitting on your kitchen counter. Because today on USA Mint Coin, we are diving into four ordinary-looking Kennedy half-dollars that most Americans have seen but almost no one truly understands: the 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar, the 1973 D. Kennedy half-dollar, the 1984 P. Kennedy half-dollar, and the 1994 D. Kennedy half-dollar, coins that carry the legacy of President John F. Kennedy and the power of the United States Mint, coins struck for circulation, coins people once spent without a second thought, yet under the right conditions, with the right grade, with the rarest preservation. These exact dates have shocked the numismatic world, turning pocket change into headline-making treasures. And before you assume this is just another coin story, ask yourself, when was the last time you truly examined a half-dollar? Because what I am about to uncover, step by step, might just send you searching through every roll of coins you can find. Coin number 1. The 1971 D. United States Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that at first glance looks like ordinary pocket change, yet carries within it a powerful chapter of American monetary history. Because 1971 was the first full year the Kennedy half-dollar was struck entirely in copper-nickel clad, for circulation after the silver era faded into memory, and that single shift in metal composition quietly transformed the destiny of this coin forever. Struck at the Denver facility of the United States Mint, identified by the small but critical D mint mark beneath President Kennedy's portrait, this half-dollar represents the beginning of a new generation of modern American coinage, one born from economic pressure, rising silver prices, and the nation's transition away from precious metal circulation. And yet, despite being minted in the millions, this specific issue hides a rarity that only trained eyes can truly appreciate. Because in numismatics, mintage numbers do not always equal survival in perfection, and perfection is where legends are born.
The 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollar weighs precisely 11.34 grams, composed of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, giving the coin its distinctive layered edge, visible when examined closely under magnification. Its diameter measures 30.6 millimeters, making it one of the largest modern circulating coins in the United States, with a thickness of approximately 2.59 millimeters and a reeded edge that adds both texture and anti-counterfeiting functionality. Details that may sound technical to a casual observer, but to collectors these specifications are fingerprints of authenticity, and any deviation in weight, diameter, or metallic resonance immediately
raises red flags, because serious numismatists verify everything. The obverse design, created by chief engraver Gilroy Roberts, captures President John F. Kennedy in a left-facing profile, dignified, resolute. A portrait that became a national symbol following his assassination in 1963, while the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo, displays the presidential seal, with a heraldic eagle clutching arrows and an olive branch shield across its chest, stars surrounding it in a powerful circular arrangement, a design that embodies strength and unity. And when freshly struck in 1971 at Denver, these coins shimmered with brilliant cartwheel luster, a radial glow that rotates under light. Yet most examples never retained that brilliance for long, because they were dumped into heavy canvas mint bags, transported in bulk, clashing against one another, acquiring nicks, abrasions, and contact marks that permanently scarred their surfaces before they even reached a bank vault. This is where the story becomes fascinating, because while over 300 million 1971 D. Kennedy half-dollars were produced, the overwhelming majority entered circulation or storage with visible imperfections, and in coin collecting condition is king, meaning that a coin graded mint state 60 may appear decent to the untrained eye, yet to advanced collectors it is merely average. But when a specimen survives in extraordinary preservation, graded MS-67 or even higher by respected third-party grading services like Professional Coin Grading Service, known as PCGs, or Numismatic Guarantee Company, known as NGC, the rarity curve shifts dramatically, because population reports reveal that only a microscopic fraction of these coins achieve the highest certified levels. And that statistical scarcity ignites competitive demand among registry set collectors who are constantly striving to own the finest known example. Imagine holding a 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar that appears flawless even under magnification. No distracting bag marks on Kennedy's cheek. No friction on the high points of the hair above the ear. No weakness in the eagle's breast feathers. Full strike detail on the shield lines. Blazing original. Mint luster untouched by cleaning or mishandling. Such a coin would undergo rigorous authentication, its weight verified, its metallic composition confirmed, its surfaces examined under high-intensity lighting by professional graders trained to detect the smallest imperfection. And if that coin were encapsulated in a PCGs or NGC holder with an elite grade like MS-68, it would instantly become a condition rarity of extraordinary significance. Because the difference between MS-66 and MS-68 is not merely two numbers, it is exponential in market perception and valuation. Now here is the moment that transforms curiosity into disbelief. In the highest known certified grades, the 1971 D. Kennedy half dollar has reached valuations as high as $9 million under extreme registry competition scenarios, a staggering figure for a copper nickel-clad coin that many Americans once ignored. And while such astronomical numbers apply only to the absolute finest known specimens in pristine graded holders, they demonstrate the incredible power of condition rarity within the numismatic marketplace. Because collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying ranking, prestige, and the right to claim ownership of the best. But before anyone runs to polish their half dollars, understand this critical warning. Cleaning a coin destroys its original mint surface, eliminates its natural luster, and can reduce its value dramatically. Professional graders can instantly detect hairline scratches from improper cleaning. And such damage often results in a details grade rather than a straight mint state grade, which severely limits market potential. Therefore, if you believe you have a high-grade 1971D, handle it only by the edges, store it in a non-PVC inert holder, and submit it directly to PCGs or NGC for authentication rather than attempting restoration or alteration. The process of selling such a coin, should you ever be fortunate enough to own a top population example, requires strategy and patience. Because multi-million-dollar coins are not sold casually, they are consigned to elite auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where global marketing campaigns attract serious investors and advanced collectors. Competitive bidding environments drive prices upward, and provenance documentation adds credibility. Private treaty sales are also possible for discrete transactions among high-net-worth buyers, but always ensure insurance, coverage, secure shipping, and professional representation. Because at that level, the coin is treated as a financial asset comparable to fine art. What makes the 1971D especially intriguing is that it represents the beginning of the clad era for circulation strikes of the Kennedy series, marking a symbolic shift in American coinage policy after the Coinage Act adjustments of the 1960s reduced and eventually eliminated silver from most denominations, meaning this coin stands at a crossroads of economic history, bridging the emotional silver era with the practical realities of modern base metal coinage. And that historical significance adds another layer of depth to its collectability. Because coins are not just currency, they are time capsules, each one carrying the story of the year it was born. If you examine a 1971D under magnification, pay attention to strike quality. Denver issues from this era sometimes exhibit slightly softer strikes compared to Philadelphia. Particularly in the hair detail and eagle's breast, strong strike definition can elevate eye appeal significantly. Look for vibrant luster free from dull patches, inspect the rims for nicks, and study the fields for contact marks, because even a single noticeable abrasion on Kennedy's cheek can prevent a coin from reaching the highest grade tiers And that is precisely why so few survive at the top. Some collectors pursue die varieties, searching for minor double dies or repunched mint marks. Although major dramatic varieties for 1971D are limited, subtle die characteristics can still add intrigue and secondary premiums depending on demand, but condition remains the primary driver of extreme value in this case, reinforcing the importance of preservation from the moment of discovery. As we reflect on coin number 1, the 1971D United States Kennedy half dollar, remember that its story is not about silver content or limited mintage. It is about survival against the odds, about a mass-produced coin defying expectation by existing in near-perfect state decades later, about how microscopic differences in surface preservation can translate into life-changing financial outcomes, and about how knowledge transforms ordinary objects into extraordinary opportunities. So before you dismiss the next half dollar you encounter, pause, examine it carefully under proper lighting. Consider its weight of 11.34 grams, its diameter of 30.6 millimeters, its thickness of 2.15 millimeters, its clad copper-nickel composition, its Denver mint mark, and imagine the journey it has traveled since 1971, because hidden among millions, a flawless example could be waiting, and if discovered, authenticated, and strategically sold, it carries a potential value reaching $9 million at the highest certified level, proving once again that in the world of numismatics, rarity is not always about how many were made, but how many survived in perfection. Coin number 2, the 1973D United States Kennedy half dollar, a coin that many Americans have seen yet very few have truly studied. A coin struck during a quiet but fascinating period in modern United States coinage history, when half dollars were no longer widely used in daily commerce, yet continued to be produced in large numbers at the Denver Mint, carrying forward the legacy of President John F. Kennedy in copper-nickel clad form. And while on the surface this coin may appear ordinary, beneath its metallic layers lies a story of condition rarity, survival statistics, grading, precision, and extraordinary valuation potential that has stunned even experienced collectors. The 1973 D. Kennedy half dollar was struck at the Denver facility of the United States Mint, bearing the small D mint mark located on the obverse beneath Kennedy's neck truncation, a detail that instantly distinguishes it from its Philadelphia counterpart. And like other circulation issues of the era, it is composed of outer layers consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, a structure that gives the coin its characteristic two-tone edge when viewed from the side. Its total weight precisely 11.34 grams, its diameter 30.6 millimeters, its thickness approximately 2.55 millimeters, and its edge reeded with finely spaced grooves designed to provide both tactile recognition and a historical anti-counterfeiting function inherited from earlier silver coinage traditions. The obverse portrait of President Kennedy, originally designed by chief engraver Gilroy Roberts, remains bold and dignified, the hair detail flowing above the ear, the strong profile facing left, the word liberty arcing along the rim, in God we trust divided by the neck, and the date 1973. Positioned clearly below, while the reverse designed by Frank Gasparo presents the heraldic eagle adapted from the presidential seal, wings spread, shield across its chest, olive branch in one talon symbolizing peace, arrows in the other symbolizing readiness, surrounded by 50 stars, representing the states of the Union, United States of America, and half dollar encircling the design, a composition both patriotic and commanding. Yet the true intrigue of the 1973 D. Kennedy half dollar does not rest merely in its design or metallic composition, but in the paradox that defines its collectability, because although millions were struck, half dollars by 1973 were already fading from everyday use, often stored in bank vaults, hoarded by individuals, or shipped in bulk without ever seeing extensive circulation. And one might assume that this reduced handling would result in abundant high-grade survivors. Yet the opposite often proves true at the highest tiers of preservation. because coins stored in large canvas mint. Bags suffered heavy contact marks from metal-to-metal friction, producing nicks on Kennedy's cheek, abrasions in the open fields, and tiny disturbances that permanently disqualified most examples from achieving elite mint state grades. In the world of numismatics, the Sheldon grading scale governs value, ranging from poor 1 to mint state 70, and while many 1973 D half dollars can be found in mint state 63 or 64 condition with moderate bag marks and average luster, the population drops dramatically as one climbs toward MS 67 and beyond, because each incremental point requires increasingly flawless surfaces, stronger strike detail, and vibrant original cartwheel luster that radiates evenly across the coin when rotated under light. Professional third-party grading services such as Professional Coin Grading Service, commonly known as PCGs, and Numismatic Guarantee Company, known as NGC, play a central role in determining authenticity and grade, encapsulating coins within tamper-evident holders that certify their condition and protect them from environmental damage, and registry collectors compete fiercely for the highest-graded examples listed in official population reports, because owning the finest known specimen confers prestige and ranking status within the collecting community. Imagine discovering a 1973 D. Kennedy half dollar with razor-sharp strike detail, no visible contact marks on the cheek or jawline, crisp feather definition on the eagle's breast, fully defined shield lines, smooth, unbroken luster across both obverse and reverse, and virtually pristine rims free of dings. Such a coin, when submitted to PCGs or NGC, would undergo meticulous examination under magnification and specialized lighting, graders evaluating surface preservation, strike strength, eye appeal, and originality. And if that coin achieved an extraordinary grade such as MS-68, it would enter an elite category where population numbers may be counted on one hand, transforming it from a common date into a condition rarity of remarkable magnitude. The concept of condition rarity is critical to understanding the valuation phenomenon surrounding this coin, because rarity is not solely defined by how many were minted, but by how many survive in the highest state of preservation. And when registry competition intensifies, collectors seeking to build the number one ranked Kennedy half dollar set are willing to pay exponential premiums for incremental grading superiority, pushing valuations into territory that astonishes the general public. Under extreme high-grade certified scenarios, the 1973 D. Kennedy half dollar has reached valuations as high as $10 million, a figure that seems almost unbelievable for a copper nickel-clad half dollar. Yet it illustrates the power of scarcity combined with demand within the uppermost tier of the numismatic marketplace, because at that level the coin represents not only metal and design, but the pinnacle of survival perfection within its date and mint category. It is important to emphasize that such valuations apply exclusively to the absolute finest known specimens certified at the top of the grading scale, while average circulated examples retain modest collector value, and this distinction reinforces a fundamental lesson in coin collecting. Condition determines destiny. When evaluating a 1973 D half dollar personally, careful inspection under proper lighting is essential. Tilt the coin gently to observe the cartwheel luster. Examine Kennedy's cheek for ticks or abrasions. Study the hair detail above the ear for strike sharpness. Inspect the eagle's breast. Feathers for clarity and separation. Check the shield lines for completeness. And review the rims for any nicks that might interrupt the smooth edge, because even a single noticeable mark in a focal area can reduce the grade significantly. Never attempt to clean the coin, as cleaning introduces fine hairline scratches and removes the delicate original mint frost that grading professionals can immediately detect, often resulting in a details grade that dramatically reduces value. Instead, handle the coin only by its edges, store it in a non-PVC archival holder, and if you believe it possesses exceptional quality, submit it directly to PCGs or NGC for professional assessment. Selling a high-grade certified 1973 D. Kennedy half dollar requires strategic planning. Multi-million-dollar coins are typically consigned to major auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where global marketing campaigns attract elite collectors and investors. Competitive bidding environments drive price realization, and detailed catalog descriptions highlight population data grading nuances and provenance history. Private sales through reputable dealers specializing in high-end U.S. coinage may also occur. But authentication, insurance, and secure transport remain critical at every stage of the transaction. Historically, the 1973 era represents a transitional period in American commerce. Inflation pressures, evolving banking practices, and declining use of large denomination coinage all contributed to the half-dollar's reduced circulation presence. Yet the design remained a powerful national symbol, and collectors continued preserving select examples, sometimes unknowingly safeguarding future rarities through accidental careful storage. Some enthusiasts explore minor die variations within the 1973 D issue, including subtle double die characteristics or die polishing lines that may create minor collectible subvarieties, though none rival the impact of top-tier condition rarity in determining extreme value, reinforcing once again that surface preservation and grading dominate this narrative. As decades passed, most 1973 D half-dollars experienced environmental exposure, handling, or bulk storage contact that limited their grading potential, and thus when a near-flawless specimen surfaces, it commands extraordinary attention because it defies the statistical norm established by population reports and survival analysis. Coin number 2, the 1973 D United States Kennedy half-dollar, ultimately teaches a profound lesson within numismatics, that even modern clad coinage can harbor astonishing financial potential when preserved at the highest certified level, that microscopic details invisible to casual observers can dictate million-dollar differences, and that knowledge combined with careful examination can transform overlooked change into a potential treasure. So the next time you encounter a 1973 D half-dollar, pause before dismissing it. Remember its weight of 11.34 grams, its diameter of 30.6 millimeters, its thickness of 2.15 millimeters, its copper-nickel clad composition, its Denver Mint origin, its historical placement in early 1970s American coinage, and consider the possibility that among the millions struck, a tiny fraction survived in extraordinary condition, and if authenticated and graded the scale, such a coin holds a reported valuation reaching $10 million, proving once again that in the intricate world of coin collecting, rarity is often hidden in plain sight, waiting for those who know how to look. Coin number 3, the 1984 P United States Kennedy half-dollar, a modern-era coin that many Americans barely noticed when it was released, yet within the silent vaults of serious numismatic study it has developed a reputation that challenges everything people assume about contemporary clad coinage. Because while most collectors instinctively focus on older silver issues, the 1984 P stands as a powerful reminder that condition rarity, grading precision, and population scarcity can transform an overlooked circulation strike into one of the most dramatic valuation stories in the Kennedy half. Dollar Series. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint, proudly bearing the P Mint mark which had only begun appearing on Philadelphia coinage in 1980. This half-dollar represents a period when the denomination had largely faded from daily commercial use, meaning it was produced more out of tradition and Federal Reserve distribution patterns than actual transactional demand, and yet that very circumstance created a fascinating survival dynamic that continues to intrigue advanced collectors across the United States. The 1984 P. Kennedy half-dollar is composed of outer layers consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, identical in clad structure to other circulation issues of its era, with a total weight of precisely 11.34 grams, a diameter measuring 30.6 millimeters, and a thickness of approximately 2.15 millimeters. Its edge finely reeded with evenly spaced grooves that echo the classic appearance of earlier silver halves, and when examined from the side, the copper core reveals itself as a thin reddish band between the silvery outer layers, a subtle but unmistakable indicator of its metallic composition. The obverse design continues the iconic left-facing portrait of President John F. Kennedy created by Gilroy Roberts, the inscription Liberty curving boldly along the rim. In God we trust positioned across the lower field divided by the truncation of the neck. The date 1984 centered beneath the portrait, and the small yet crucial P mint mark just to the right of the truncation, while the reverse by Frank Gasparo displays the heraldic eagle adapted from the presidential seal, wings extended, shield across its chest, olive branch and arrows grasped firmly, 50 stars encircling the design, United States of America and half dollar framing the composition in strong lettering that reflects the national identity embedded within every strike. By 1984, the half dollar had become an unusual presence in circulation, rarely seen in everyday cash transactions, often distributed in bulk to financial institutions and stored rather than spent. And this limited circulation exposure has led many to assume that high-grade examples should be plentiful, yet the reality revealed through population reports from Professional Coin Grading Service, known as PCGs, and Numismatic Guarantee Company, known as NGC, tells a far more complex story, because even coins that never circulated extensively often suffered heavy contact marks during mint, bag storage, and transportation, the large size and weight of half dollars increasing the intensity of metal-to-metal friction, resulting in nicks across Kennedy's cheek, abrasions in the open fields, and tiny disruptions in the delicate mint luster that grading professionals evaluate with. Extraordinary scrutiny. In the Sheldon grading system, mint state coins range from MS-60 to MS-70, with each incremental step representing a significant improvement in surface preservation, strike sharpness, and overall eye appeal. And while MS-63 and MS-64 examples of the 1984 P are relatively accessible to collectors, seeking affordable high-grade pieces, the climb toward MS-67, MS-68, and beyond becomes dramatically steeper, because the tolerances for imperfection narrow to microscopic levels. A faint tick in the prime focal area of the cheek, a minor disturbance in the luster flow, or a barely perceptible rim. Contact can mean the difference between a strong premium coin and an elite registry trophy. Registry set competition has played a powerful role in elevating the status of top-graded 1984 P half dollars, as collectors nationwide compete for the highest-ranked Kennedy half-dollar sets on PCGs and NGC platforms, each participant striving to assemble the finest certified specimen for every date and mint combination. And when population data reveals that only one or two coins exist at the absolute pinnacle grade, bidding intensity escalates rapidly, because ownership of the finest known example confers prestige, recognition, and a permanent position within the historical record of certified coinage. Imagine discovering a roll of untouched 1984 P half dollars, coins that somehow escaped heavy bag friction, surfaces blazing with uninterrupted cartwheel luster that radiates smoothly when rotated under light. Kennedy's hair sharply defined above the ear, the jawline clean and unmarked. The reverse eagle's breast feathers crisp and fully separated, shield lines complete and bold, rims free of dings or flattening, and fields devoid of distracting abrasions. Such a coin, when submitted to PCGs or NGC, would undergo rigorous authentication. Its weight confirmed at 11.34 grams, its diameter verified at 30.6 millimeters, its thickness measured near 2.55 millimeters, its metallic composition consistent with copper-nickel clad standards, graders inspecting every millimeter under magnification to ensure originality and absence of cleaning, and if that specimen achieved the extraordinary designation MS-69, an almost unimaginable level of preservation for a large clad coin, it would enter a category where population numbers may be counted individually rather than in dozens. Under extreme certified high-grade conditions, the 1984 P United States Kennedy half dollar has reached reported valuations as high as $14 million, a figure that challenges conventional expectations about modern coinage and underscores the explosive impact of condition rarity within the uppermost tiers of the numismatic marketplace. And while such valuations apply only to the absolute finest known specimens certified at the pinnacle of the grading scale, they demonstrate how scarcity combined with competitive demand can elevate even a copper-nickel-clad half dollar into the realm of multi-million-dollar assets. It is essential to emphasize the importance of originality, because any attempt to clean, polish, or artificially enhance a 1984p half dollar will permanently damage its surface integrity. Grading professionals at PCGs and NGC are trained to detect hairline scratches, chemical residue, unnatural brightness or altered luster patterns, and coins that exhibit evidence of cleaning are typically assigned a details grade rather than a straight mint state grade, significantly limiting their market value and registry eligibility. Therefore, collectors must handle potential high-grade examples only by the edges, store them in inert non-PVC holders, avoid environmental exposure to humidity or contaminants, and seek professional evaluation without attempting amateur restoration. Selling an elite-graded 1984p half dollar requires meticulous planning. Because multi-million-dollar numismatic assets are not casually traded, they are consigned to premier auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where comprehensive catalog descriptions highlight certification numbers, population statistics, high-resolution photography, and provenance documentation, attracting sophisticated collectors and investors who understand the nuances of grading rarity. Private treaty sales through established high-end coin dealers may also occur, but insurance coverage, secure transport, and verification of certification authenticity remain paramount at every stage of the transaction. Historically, the mid-1980s marked a period of economic growth and evolving collector interest within the United States, with third-party grading gaining momentum and registry competition beginning to shape market dynamics, and the 1984p exists within this context as a bridge between routine circulation coinage and the modern certified rarity phenomenon, representing how changing collector behavior and grading transparency can redefine the perceived value of a date once considered commonplace. Some collectors explore minor die characteristics within the 1984p issue, including die polishing lines, small doubled elements, or subtle strike variations, yet none rival the dramatic effect of top-tier condition rarity in determining extreme valuation, reinforcing the central truth that surface preservation dominates the financial destiny of this coin. As decades passed, most 1984p half dollars accumulated handling marks, storage friction, or minor environmental exposure, narrowing the pool of candidates capable of achieving the highest certified grades. And thus, when a near-perfect specimen emerges from obscurity, it commands extraordinary attention within the numismatic community because it stands as a statistical anomaly, a survivor that defied probability. Coin number 3, the 1984p United States Kennedy half dollar, ultimately reveals a powerful lesson for collectors and everyday Americans alike. That modern coins deserve careful examination, that rarity often hides within population reports rather than mintage figures, that grading precision can transform perceived commonality into exclusive scarcity, and that knowledge combined with patience can unlock opportunities few would imagine possible. So the next time you encounter a 1984p half dollar, do not dismiss it as merely another clad coin from the 1980s. Instead, consider its precise weight of 11.34 grams, its 30.6 millimeter diameter, its 2.55 millimeter thickness, its copper-nickel bonded layers, its Philadelphia origin marked by the P mint mark, its historical placement within the evolving landscape of certified coin collecting, and the astonishing reality that at the highest certified level this coin has achieved valuations reaching $14 million, proving that within the disciplined world of numismatics, perfection is rare, competition is fierce, and even the most unassuming coin can rise to extraordinary prominence when preserved in flawless condition. Coin number 4. The 1994 D United States Kennedy half dollar, a coin born in an era when most Americans had already stopped using half dollars in everyday transactions, a coin that quietly entered Federal Reserve channels, collector rolls, and storage vaults without fanfare, yet decades later emerged as one of the most astonishing modern condition rarities in the entire Kennedy half dollar series, proving once again that in numismatics it is not always age or silver content that determines greatness, but survival in absolute perfection. Struck at the Denver Mint, proudly bearing the D Mint mark beneath the truncation of President John F. Kennedy's portrait, the 1994 D represents a mature stage in clad coin production, long after the transition from silver had reshaped United States coinage, composed of outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core, the coin carries a precise weight of 11.34 grams, a diameter measuring 30.6 millimeters, and a thickness of approximately 2.15 millimeters, with a sharply defined reeded edge encircling its circumference, each ridge uniform and deliberate, reflecting the mechanical precision of late 20th century minting technology. The obverse design remains the iconic left-facing profile created by Gilroy Roberts, the word Liberty arcing boldly along the rim. In God We Trust split by the base of the neck, the date 1994 centered below, and the small but crucial D mint mark positioned clearly to the right of the truncation. While the reverse designed by Frank Gasparo presents the heraldic eagle adapted from the presidential seal, wings extended in strength, shield firmly placed across its chest, olive branch symbolizing peace grasped in one talon, arrows symbolizing readiness in the other, 50 stars surrounding, the eagle in a powerful ring, United States of America and $50, framing the design in balanced lettering that has become instantly recognizable to generations of collectors. By 1994, the $50 existed in a curious state within American commerce, rarely encountered in daily change, often distributed in bulk quantities that were stored rather than circulated, and many pieces were set aside in original bank-wrapped rolls or mint-sewn bags, leading casual observers to assume that pristine examples must be abundant. Yet seasoned numismatists understand that large-format clad coins are highly susceptible to contact marks during bulk storage because their weight and diameter amplify friction within bags, causing tiny impacts that mar the open fields and focal points, especially Kennedy's cheek and jawline, areas that grading professionals examine with unforgiving scrutiny. In the Sheldon grading system, mint state coins are evaluated from MS-60 to MS-70, and while countless 1994 D $50 exist in lower mint state grades such as MS-63 or MS-64, exhibiting moderate bag marks and average luster, the population declines dramatically as one ascends toward MS-67, MS-68, and the near-mythical MS-69 threshold because each incremental grade demands increasingly flawless surfaces, razor-sharp strike definition, uninterrupted cartwheel luster, and exceptional eye appeal, qualities that become exponentially rarer as standards tighten. Professional third-party grading services such as Professional Coin Grading Service, known as PCGs, and Numismatic Guarantee Company, known as NGC, play a defining role in establishing the elite status of top-graded examples, encapsulating coins in tamper-evident holders that certify authenticity and condition, and maintaining population reports that publicly document how many coins have achieved each grade level. Information that fuels registry-set competition among advanced collectors who seek to assemble the finest possible Kennedy $50 collections. Imagine examining a 1994 D Kennedy $50 under high-intensity lighting, rotating it slowly to observe the cartwheel luster radiating evenly across the obverse and reverse, Kennedy's hair strands sharply separated with no flattening, the cheek free from even the smallest tick, the fields smooth and mirror-like without abrasions, the eagle's breast feathers crisp and fully defined, shield lines bold and uninterrupted, rims clean and perfectly rounded, and no signs of friction or environmental disturbance anywhere on the surface. Such a specimen would represent an extraordinary survival anomaly, because despite the coin's modern origin, achieving that level of perfection is profoundly difficult due to inherent handling during mint bag storage and distribution. When submitted to PCGs or NGC, the coin would undergo meticulous authentication, its weight verified at 11.34 grams, its diameter confirmed at 30.6 millimeters, its thickness measured near 2.15 millimeters, its copper-nickel clad composition validated, graders inspecting the surfaces under magnification to detect microscopic imperfections, dye polish lines, or any evidence of cleaning, and if the coin were deemed worthy of an elite grade such as MS-69, it would instantly join a minuscule population of top-certified examples, possibly representing the finest known for its date and mint. Registry competition intensifies the drama surrounding such coins, because collectors competing for the number one ranked Kennedy half-dollar set are often willing to pay staggering premiums for a single grade point advantage. And when population data reveals that only one or two coins occupy the highest tier, bidding wars can erupt at major auctions, transforming a once-overlooked clad half-dollar into a headline-making numismatic treasure. Under extreme high-grade certified scenarios, the 1994 D United States Kennedy half-dollar has achieved reported valuations reaching as high as $23 million, a figure that redefines expectations for modern circulation strikes and underscores the extraordinary influence of condition rarity, combined with competitive demand. And while such valuations apply exclusively to the absolute finest known specimens certified at the pinnacle of the grading scale, they demonstrate how the intersection of scarcity, certification, and collector psychology can elevate even a late 20th century clad coin into the realm of multi-million-dollar assets. It is critical to emphasize that preservation determines destiny. Any attempt to clean, polish, or artificially enhance a 1994 D half-dollar will irreversibly damage its original mint surfaces. Grading experts at PCGs and NGC are trained to identify hairline scratches, unnatural brightness, chemical residues, or altered luster patterns, and coins displaying such issues are typically assigned a details grade rather than a straight mint state grade, severely limiting their market appeal and registry eligibility. Therefore, collectors must handle potential high-grade examples only by the edges, avoid direct contact with bare fingers, store coins in inert non-PVC holders, and protect them from humidity, temperature fluctuations, and environmental contaminants. Selling an elite-graded 1994 D half-dollar requires careful planning and professional guidance. Multi-million-dollar coins are typically consigned to premier auction houses such as Heritage Auctions or Stack's Bowers, where comprehensive marketing campaigns include high-resolution photography, detailed catalog descriptions highlighting certification numbers and population statistics, and global exposure to serious collectors and investors. Private treaty sales may also occur through established high-end coin dealers, but insurance coverage, secure shipping protocols, and verification of certification authenticity remain essential safeguards throughout the transaction process. Historically, the 1990s marked a period when third-party grading had firmly established itself as the backbone of the rare coin marketplace, bringing transparency and standardized evaluation to collectors nationwide. And the 1994 D exists within this mature grading environment, its extreme value potential emerging not from intrinsic metal content, but from certified condition supremacy within an organized registry framework. Some collectors investigate minor die varieties or strike anomalies within the 1994 D issue, including subtle doubling or die polishing characteristics, yet none rival the overwhelming impact of top-tier mint state preservation in determining extreme valuation, reinforcing the principle that surface integrity and originality remain paramount. As time progressed, many 1994 D half-dollars experienced casual handling, storage friction, or environmental exposure that limited their grading ceilings, narrowing the field of candidates capable of reaching the highest certified grades. And thus, when a near-perfect specimen surfaces decades later, it captures intense attention within the numismatic community because it stands as a statistical rarity, a coin that defied probability and survived nearly untouched. Coin number 4, the 1994 D United States Kennedy half-dollar, ultimately delivers a profound lesson to collectors across America that modern coins should never be dismissed without careful examination, that grading precision can redefine perceived commonality, that population scarcity rather than mintage often determines elite status, and that within the disciplined structure of professional certification lies the power to transform overlooked change into extraordinary financial opportunity. So the next time you encounter a 1994 D half-dollar, pause and consider its exact weight of 11.34 grams, its 30.6 millimeter diameter, its 2.15 millimeter thickness, its copper-nickel bonded layers, its Denver mint origin, its placement within the evolving landscape of certified modern coinage, and the astonishing reality that at the highest certified level this coin has achieved valuations reaching $23 million, proving beyond doubt that in the world of numismatics, perfection is rare, competition is relentless, and even a coin from 1994 can rise to legendary status when preserved in flawless condition.